If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
We're joined this morning by Jim and Linda Jones from Alabama Childhood Food Solutions here in Sylacauga. And good morning to you both, and belated happy Easter weekend.
Oh, thank you very much. We had a beautiful weekend.
Yeah, and it's not often that all of us get to go to church on Sundays, but yesterday was a big day for a lot of people.
It really was. We had a super service. We had an outdoor service. Had a little over 1,500 people who came back to church for the first time in a year, and we were excited.
I bet so. I bet so. A big day for you guys just a couple of days ago. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But for people who may not know, explain Alabama Childhood Food Solutions.
Alabama Childhood Food is a nonprofit we established 11 years ago in Sylacauga in order to care for those who are food insecure in the Sylacauga area. And we're feeding a lot of people now. It's quite exciting to see how it's grown from feeding people out of the back of our pickup truck to now we have a nice warehouse that is full, and soon we'll have to make changes to that as God provides. Now,
Linda, if we roll the clock back 12 years, and you've been doing this since 2011, and this is I guess year 10 or so. If I'd have said to you that you'd be in the food business then, what was your thought?
I would have said you were crazy. We had no idea we were going to do anything like this. Nothing, zero. But I guess from all the years that both of our parents gave back to the community and instilled into us, I guess, to give back to the community. His family always gave food out. Mine did too. They had big gardens and always gave back. My mother, the day she died, she was helping feed people at the church. And so it's just, I guess, ingrained in us to do what God asked us to do. And one of the best verses that's in my mind is to love the Lord God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul. That's in Matthew 22:27. And then in 29, it says, love your neighbor as yourself. So that's what has made Jim and I all these years. We have gone overseas and tried to help people and give food over there. But when we came back home and saw that we got hungry families right here, right around us, you just have to open your eyes to see it. And especially since COVID has hit, we have more people than ever that need food, just to help them to make the day or make the week go by. So yes, I guess that's the reason God touched our hearts to be able to see hungry people.
Jim, when I was a little guy, we lived in Stewartville, Alabama. And I tell the guys now, I tell my grandkids that I used to eat ketchup sandwiches, and it was my meal at that time. And I didn't think about food insecurity, but exactly what is food insecurity?
Well, food insecurity is a series of circumstances in the family where you never know when or where your next meal will be coming from. It's not unusual for a family to take the ketchup and make soup or make a sandwich like your family had to do. In my childhood, I often ate sugar biscuits. There wasn't a cinnamon roll from some store of some kind. My mother and my neighbors would just make a big cat head biscuit, put a little sugar on it and say, "Here, boy." And we thought that was the best treat that you could possibly have. Food insecurity includes the families not finding the food that they really need, especially the children. They don't know how to prepare the food for themselves. They don't know where to go. They don't have a source of income to provide the food. Some of the things that we've seen as little kids will be attracted to adults to just carry a brown paper bag across the intersection at one of the areas in town which contains drugs, and they'll give them $5 for taking the bag over there. They become the guilty party of drug interaction, and the guy who sold the drugs drives off happily in his brand new car. And same thing with, some young women are forced to sell their bodies because they don't have enough to eat or enough to care for themselves. And it leads further down, first comes hunger and then homelessness, and it's a severe spiral into a serious family situation.
It's mind-boggling, the numbers of children and families that are suffering from food insecurity today.
Oh,
Just in central Alabama.
just in central Alabama, in the 9 counties that we look at and try to help, in the schools especially, there are 29,000 kids that are on free and reduced lunches because they don't know where their next meal is coming from. There's also over 20,000 families that have great difficulty providing for themselves because of the COVID, because of economic changes, because of losing their job, because of having to quit their job to go home and take care of the kids because the schools are closed. It's tragic that in this time and day in America, which is supposed to be one of the wealthiest nations in the world, and it is, that there's so many that would be standing in line if there were a line to stand in to get food.
Wow. Linda, how many families and adults are we helping? And we talked about, COVID being one issue, but there are other issues as well.
Yes. Well, we started with like 40 bags in the back of our truck giving out food. And today we're doing around 2,000 kids a week.
Goodness.
With backpacks. We don't actually have a backpack. We put it in a t-shirt bag so that the teachers can stuff it down into their backpacks, and most kids don't even know that they've gotten the food. But it's grown to 2,000 kids a week, and we could easily add 2,000 more right now if we had the availability, the money, and where to give that out to the children. It's that many kids more that need food. And we right now we started before COVID hit. We were feeding. When I say feeding, we were giving groceries, about 90 pounds of groceries to about 300 families. And now we're doing right at 800, maybe 850 families once a month with groceries.
And a footnote to that, this is quality food. It's not throwaway stuff.
No, oh no. We have a saying in our warehouse when we're gathering and we're preparing the food to go out the door: if you won't eat it, throw it away. So that's our motto, So we want it to be good food.
I'd like to add to that. That food in the family boxes that we provide is between 80 and 90 pounds. That's meat and fresh vegetables and dairy products and cheese and canned goods and bread and desserts. It's food that any of us would love to have.
It's butter, eggs, milk, nuts, anything that you can think of, we give it out.
Yeah, basically stuff that we buy at the grocery store.
It comes from some of the grocery store. Yeah. It's pretty exciting to see it come in.
2020 was a very difficult year, very challenging year for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And here we are into 2021, and we've seen a lot of businesses cut back. We've seen people lose their job. We've seen companies that had been able to donate for years have to cut back on their support and cut back on their giving. How has Alabama Childhood Food Solution prospered during this time?
It's a God thing. God has provided more and more and more over the year. Where we started out with just a minimum income last year, we've now, God has provided so that our income has risen with the amount of food that we needed to share.
Well, you have to share. I'm going to butt in.
Please.
Imagine that, Jim.
When we first started out with COVID, we actually thought we were going to have to close the doors because we gave out all the money that we had just about. We had a board meeting and decided to put back just enough money to keep us going if we did shut our doors, to be able to come back. But we were down to the nitty-gritty with our money, and we had given out all our supplies to just everybody. And then just all of a sudden, it turned around. I guess because of our prayers, God wanted us not to quit. No, you can go ahead. I'm sorry.
Continue on, Jim.
Yeah, that's true. As God saw the need, He provided. We have a covenant, God and myself, that if I will distribute, He will provide, and provide He has. Over the year that we've been in COVID, our income has doubled, and the amount of food that we're putting out the door is nearly tripled. And we're excited that if we're faithful, God will provide.
The volunteer base that you have, I mean, it's phenomenal, isn't it?
It is. It's just amazing how people come in. We had just a base people that would volunteer all the time. And of course, when COVID hit, they couldn't come.
Right.
They just, they wasn't willing to be around other people. So we had to adopt our policies and change everything. Everything that we did has changed. Alabama Childhood Food looks nothing like it did before COVID. It's after COVID now. And we have 3 rooms at our warehouse, and we would put 10 people over here, 10 people over here, and 10 people over here, so that none of us were around each other.
Social distancing.
Social distancing. We wore gloves, we wore masks, we checked everybody's temperature, asked them all the questions, to make sure before they came in the door. So, and then we had people that had never even been to the warehouse started showing up. God just provided. It's amazing how many people have been in our warehouse to work.
Jim, where do all the people that are food insecure, where are they coming from?
They're coming from 9 counties, primarily Talladega County, but we're so close to Coosa County, we get people from there. There are people in Goodwater and then Tallapoosa County who come. We share with school systems in Calhoun, Clay, and Randolph counties,
Shelby.
and Shelby counties, and we care for some Hispanics from over in Chilton County who are legal agricultural workers, but they can't make enough money with the weather that we've had, storms and heat, hot and cold in Florida, where the food industry moves part of the year. So people are coming from 9 counties, and we're thankful that by appointment we can open our warehouse, and as they drive by, we can share food with them in large amounts.
A decade of service, 6,431,000 pounds of food. That is a lot of food you moved.
Yeah, there's a couple of pickups of loads. No, we get in around 35,000 to 40,000 pounds of food each month. That's the equivalent of about 600 or 650 grocery carts piled high. We have 3 vans and freezer trailers that are in circulation going to and from Birmingham and north of Sylacauga to pick up food at different stores. That's short date, but yet very good for human consumption. And then if we happen to bring back something from one of the stores that's not good for human consumption, we have a local farmer who has animals that we'll send that food on down.
Nothing goes to waste, right?
That's
on
right.
down the food chain, so that the farmer can give us pork later on. And so God is providing in so many ways the food that we get. We also get donations from Snyder Lance, the snacks, and Golden Flake Huts. We are excited that they walk with us on a regular basis. Bud's Best Cookies in Birmingham.
It's good cookies now.
Good cookies. We're very thankful for our corporate sponsors that walk with us on a daily basis. In addition to that, we have a number of big corporations around the country. Dunkin' Donuts, Arby's is from their national office helps us. Joy in Childhood Foundation and several big foundations help provide the funds that we need to buy food, so that the kids' food will all be the same as it goes out.
Many agencies do similar to what you guys are doing. What is the difference? How have you been able to succeed even during the COVID era that others have been able? And we talked about God, but it takes a lot of effort to do this.
It takes a full team of administrative people. We're excited that we're still all volunteer except for one director to help us guide the business along.
Daily
operations. Then we have volunteer drivers that go and pick up the food. We have volunteers who do every job in the warehouse. They come daily, and we don't always know which volunteer will be there, but there's always enough. God sends the people. We are faith-based. We bathe everything that we do in prayer. Every morning in the warehouse, we have a prayer time to share our personal needs, the needs of the community, the needs of the nation, and we pray for those because we find that the things that we need most are volunteers, prayer, and financial help. And God provides all three as we go in our day-to-day activities.
Linda, in times past, we talked about special cases that just kind of stand out in your mind and that you've been able to help. But I want to get to this because we've got time constraints this morning. You mentioned a lady a little bit earlier to me. Talk about that a little bit.
All right. This little lady, her name is Mrs. Goodgain. I wanted to mention her because she faithfully watches your program every morning.
Yay.
And she has been a client of ours for years. And she's a widow lady, and now she doesn't come anymore. So I just wanted to say hello to Mrs. Goodgain this morning and to thank her for the faithfulness. Every time she would come, she would bring me $5 and said, "This is for the children." And that always touched my heart because here she was. She had no money, and it was like the widow's mite giving me that $5 for the kids. And those children, that was a full week's groceries for the kids. So she was doing a lot, and it just always touched my heart to have her to come through. And she's such a delightful lady, and she's in her 90s now and not able to come. So we just miss seeing her.
Yeah, I bet.
So
when we mentioned $5, the bag of food that we give to a child on the weekend actually costs about $4 wholesale. We can get food at significant discount prices, but that's $4 a week per child, and then we have to pay some for the transportation of food that we get from the grocery stores. Our grocery bill is over $35,000 a month.
Oh my goodness.
We need help.
That's a lot of cash register receipts.
Takes a couple of trees.
How do people make an appointment? I'm just thinking about, of all the people that you're serving, you got to be organized, crossing every T and dotting every I. How do they make an appointment for the food?
Well, we have a telephone number that they can call, and it's on our webpage also, and we put it out everywhere we go. The number is 938-201-2129, and we put it on our webpage, which is alabamachildhoodfood.com. And we put it out everywhere we can. We have it on our building. We have it on a board right as you come down our driveway, 114 Canyon Ridge Road. We have a sign that says the number there. But we have to go by appointments only, because if we didn't, we would be overrun, and we just have to do that. We give out food 9 days a month. That's every Monday and Thursday, and then the first Saturday of the month. So and the rest of the time, we're preparing the food and getting it ready to go out the door.
That number again is 938-201-2129. And with the growth of this volunteer organization, you've outgrown where you are and got some good news to talk about this morning.
Oh, we do. It's quite exciting. Very recently, we found that we have a full warehouse, and we're thankful for that. Very thankful. We have found that we need new warehouse space. We have located and purchased land in the Childersburg area so that we can build a new warehouse that will be able to more easily provide food for those in counties north of us and those in Talladega County Coos County, Shelby, Clay, Randolph, and all the ones that we serve. It's going to be a 30,000 square foot warehouse, very similar to the size of a grocery store. We'll be able to have large refrigeration and large freezer space, about 2,500 square foot each of those. There will be a meeting space that will be available so that we can have community activities up to 100 people and serve them in that space. So we are walking with God to see what He wants done. We have dedicated the land just this past weekend on Saturday, so that we're not trying to outdo God and not just looking for bigger barns to have more food. We're looking to serve more people when the new building is available.
We've got some of the pictures that we're showing from Saturday, and let's talk about that. That's a nice group of people there for the dedication.
Yes.
29
people we had there, and it was a great, beautiful day, and everybody was excited to be there, excited as we are that we got a place to be able to go to. It'll be more central located, where everybody can come, and those that are working from Shelby County and all, it'll be about 20 minutes, maybe 40 minutes back and forth out of their travel time. So that's a lot to people.
And it's a beautiful piece of property right there that you've
right
blessed
across
with.
from Coosa Pines golf course, and next to Nippon Oil right there.
Now, people say, well, Jim, when are you going to build?
We're going to build when the funds are available. We have done all of the activities that we have by God's provision, and when He provides the funds, we will break ground and build the building so that we can serve and continue to be God's hands and feet and the heart of God in Talladega County.
Wow. I think we've got some more pictures, don't we, Robert?
One more.
Okay,
somewhere.
Just the one? Okay. And but you know, you can call 938-201-2129 to get help with food and we talked about what is needed. We can't emphasize it enough about the volunteers, the prayer, and your financial donation. How can they make a financial donation?
Well, they can do that on AlabamaChildhoodFood.com, or they can look us up on Facebook, or they can mail it to P.O. Box 1321, Sylacauga, Alabama, 35150. So there's at least 3 or more ways to send money. And then if all else fails, call me, and I'll give out my phone number this morning. Call me and I'll come get it.
That's right.
Absolutely.
We not only need the volunteers and the prayer and the money, we need corporate partners in our area. We can care for our own much better than the federal government can take care of us. They have enlarged the SNAP, or the food stamp program, just recently, so that there'll be more food available to those who are seriously food insecure. But we need to care for our own. Linda and I have had the wonderful opportunity to go around the world. We've served food on 5 continents. And she won't let me go to the South Pole, so we're not going to serve any there. But when we came back, we saw the need. It's not easy to drive down the street and see who's hungry and the kids that are hungry. The teachers tell us who needs food. But we as a community, across the number of counties in central Alabama, we can make a difference for our own people.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you both for coming this morning.
Thank you for having us.
And again, that number for an appointment is 938-201-2129, 938-201-2129. And we need volunteers, we need your prayers, and we need your financial support. And we need it today. So contact us and let us plug you in. And if you know someone who is in need of food insecurity, that same number right there will get you going on that as well. Because, as you say, Jim, hunger never takes a day off.
Amen. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank y'all for coming today. Jim and Linda Jones, Alabama Childhood Food Solutions, our guests this morning here on Daybreak Live. We appreciate them being here with us.